Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome to Wings and Wheels Wings Department 2011. So flying now, Brendan, we have Peter Teichmann in this wonderful Spitfire 11. This particular example is unarmed. It's a photo reconnaissance version, the Mark 11.
What I think is wonderful as well, Melvin, is that there are people like Peter with his collection at Hangar 11, and just to remind you, he's got the famous, the Big Four, the Curtiss P-40 Kidding Hawk, the Spit, of course, the Hurricane Mark IIB, and the P-51 Mustang. It's wonderful that there are people like that that are able to preserve and to fly these
Absolutely, and not just that, Peter's quest for originality on these aeroplanes is wonderful. This is PR-11 was designed to carry a lot more fuel and be the aircraft that went over Germany and took photographs of the damage that we did. Photographs underneath, so you can take stereoscopic images. And these are also used at low level using the sideways facing camera. So prior to the invasion of Normandy, Spitfire 11s were flown at very low level in very dangerous conditions all along the beaches of all of northern France so that they couldn't guess where we were coming. And photographs were taken of the defences. Now the original Spitfire 1, as I said, was armed with 8 machine guns. Later examples were armed with 20mm cannon and machine guns, and then the final variants up at the 22 series were powered by the massive Griffon engine rather than the Merlin, and had 4 20mm cannon, could also carry rockets and bombs. And in all, some 22,751 Spitfires and Seafires were made. This aircraft has something of an interesting history. It was used during the war, and then post-war it was owned by the US military attaché, and at times was flown by that wonderful ATA pilot, Lettice Curtis, one of the very few early women with the ATA. She was not one of the first 8 women, but she was certainly very early in ferrying aircraft around from factories to maintenance units and squadrons. She air raced this aeroplane in the 1940s and early 50s. Throughout the life of the Spit, wondered what would happen if you recompressed the compressed air that you're pushing into the engine via the supercharger, making a 2-stage supercharger. This one development, which took a little bit of working out, gave 40 miles an hour on the top speed of the Spitfire and another 10,000 feet in service ceiling. The engine was very hastily added to the Mark V series of aircraft to produce the Mark IX. As I said earlier, the Mark 11 was the photo reconnaissance version of that series of Spitfire. Early Spitfires had just 85 gallons of fuel. They were designed to take off, knock down bombers and land again. They were a defence fighter, not an attack fighter. So in order to have the range to get over Germany, the PR-11 had way more fuel inside the leading edge of the wing, in tanks in the wing and behind the cockpit. The endurance was so limited on early Spitfires that it is said there is no such thing as a truly slow roll in a Spitfire because you've only got an hour and a half's fuel. The aeroplane being so manoeuvrable, you could do what you like to it. Peter has not only put back the original engine that was in this aeroplane, he's also replaced the deeper nose cowling. The Mark 11 had a more sort of pronounced chin on it in order to take a deeper oil tank for the long-range missions over Germany. The stressed skin construction of the Spitfire made... Well, ladies and gentlemen, Peter